guys, my name's Kate and today I'm going to be showing you all how to create your very own custom bag tag using the Cricut Faux Leather, the Cricut Maker and the Cricut Foiling Tool. These tags are great because they can be used in so many different ways and not just as bag tags. They would be great to have as wedding or party favors. They could also be used as gift tags, which can then be repurposed into bag tags. You can use these for traveling on your suitcase, or you could even use it on your handbag to personalize your handbag. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in learning how to make, just keep on watching. Okay, so first up, I'm just going to take you through everything you're going to need for today's project. So first up, of course, you are going to need some faux leather. I'm using the Cricut Pebbled Faux Leather today in the color brown. You're then going to need your foiling kit. Now, this kit is actually really great because it pretty much comes with everything you're going to need for today. It comes with this housing, so this is where you put your foiling tip in, and then it comes with 3 different foiling tips. So we're going to be using the bold one today, which is this one I'm holding here, but it also comes with a medium and a fine tip as well. So totally up to you what size you want to use. It probably will just depend on the font that you've chosen, but today we're going to be using the bold tip, and super duper easy to install. So all you have to do is pretty much drop it into there. It's magnetic and you're ready to go. As I mentioned, this kit comes with pretty much everything you're going to need for today's project. So it actually comes with some gold and some silver foil. So I'm just going to be using the foil from this kit today because we do only need a small amount. So this sheet will work absolutely fine. Next up, I am going to be using this tape. This also comes in the foiling transfer kit. It's basically just tape, so you can tape down your foil to make sure that when you're cutting, it's not going to move around. Then you're going to need your fine tip blade. This is just the blade that comes with the Cricut Maker, so no need to go out and buy a fancy blade. You should already have this one if you do have the Cricut Maker machine. We're then also going to need our StandardGrip cutting mat, which is this green one here, and I'm also going to be using a glue gun. You may be able to use a different kind of adhesive if you don't want to use a glue gun, but I find the glue gun works best for this project. Last but not least, of course, you are going to need your Cricut Maker machine. That is pretty much everything we're going to need. So without further ado, let's jump into Design Space and we'll get started. Okay, so you want to jump into Design Space and you're going to need to find this project because I have done all the hard work for you. So you are going to want to find this project. It's called the Leather Bag Tag with Tassel. I will link it in the description down below so you will be able to find it really easily. All you need to do now is customize your name or the writing that you are wanting on your bag tag. And that is so easy to do. I'm going to show you how to do it now. So obviously, my name is Kate, so I am going to be making one that says Kate today, but I'm going to show you all exactly how you can customize this with your own name. So the font I have decided to use today is called DTC Cottage Sketch. You can see it over here. I just wanted to mention that this font that I chose, I wasn't actually happy with the spacing in between the letters if I was just to write it all as one word. So what I've done, as you can see over here, is gone ahead and typed in each letter individually. So then that way I could move them around and connect them how I wanted them to be connected. You don't have to do that. You don't have to even use this font if you don't want to, but I just wanted to mention that in case you're wondering why all these letters are separate. So anyway, let's go into text over here and I'll show you guys exactly how you can customize this to suit your own name. So I'm going to go ahead and use the name Jess, for instance, and we're going to go up here and choose our font. So as I said, I used the font DTC Cottage Sketch for this, which is this one here. And for the name Jess, this is what it looks like. So you can go up here and change the letter spacing. I'm going to make it a 0. We'll see how it looks. But see how These ones are really close together, but this S is still really far away, it seems. That's why I did all my letters individually, so then I could go ahead and move them around and join them up as I liked. I also just wanted to mention that when choosing a font for foiling, depending on the look that you're going for, if you want it to be like a single stroke like this and not the outline of the word, I do recommend finding a font that is suitable for writing. So you'll see up here that this font that I've chosen is a writing font, which means it's compatible with the pen in the Cricut. But if you were, for instance, to choose a different font, one that wasn't suitable for writing, so I don't know, let's just choose this one as an example, you will notice that when I go up here and change it to foil, it will turn to an outline. So, I mean, you may want an outline, you may want your font to look like this on your bag tag, but I prefer the look of this single stroke when I'm using my foiling tools. So that's just my preference, but I just wanted to mention it to you guys in case you are going through the fonts and you're thinking, why is it doing an outline? I don't want an outline, I want it to look like this. It's because you need to go into your fonts and choose a font that is suitable for writing. So if you go to this filters drop down menu here, you can actually tick writing and it will bring up all the fonts that are compatible with the writing function. So then if I was to say change it to this one, you can see that it then goes to a single line as well. Hopefully that helps you guys, but I just wanted to run you all through that just in case you were having trouble finding fonts that were just single line. Anyway, I am going to delete this one now, but before I do, I just wanted to make sure that you were all aware that you do have to go up here and choose the operation when you're doing foiling. So you want it to be obviously the foil setting. And then as I mentioned earlier, we are going to be using the bold point for this one. Well, I am anyway, but you would obviously choose whichever point you are using for your project. So I'm selecting bold. And then you can go up here if you want to and change the color of your foil. Mine's gold, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Another thing I want to mention quickly is, say for instance, you are customizing your tag, you've done your font, you're happy with the word or the initials, you're happy with how it looks. You then want to drag it up here to the tag and get it as central as you want or position it wherever on the tag you want it. You're then going to go down here to your menu and we are going to select the writing that we've just dragged up onto our bag tag, and then we're going to find the circle, which is this one here. Hold down the command button if you're on a Mac, highlight both, and then we want to go attach, because when we are making our project, you want to make sure that the foiling knows that it needs to be in this position. Otherwise, if it's not attached, you will find that your word, when you go to foil it, will just move up here to the corner, which obviously is not where we want it because that's where our tassel is. We want the word to be on our bag tag here. So we want to attach it to that circle so that the Cricut knows that that's where the foiling needs to be. Okay, so once you are happy with how your tag is looking and you've made sure the writing is attached to that circle, we want to go up here to make it, which is going to bring us into this page. Now this is showing you exactly how your project is going to cut. So it gives you the measurements of the leather that we need to cut out. So basically, if you go down the side here, you can see that we need about 10 centimeters by about 30 centimeters. So when you're cutting out your piece of leather, you want to make sure you cut it 10 centimeters by 30 centimeters. You'll see that the Cricut automatically gives you a border here, so you aren't going too close to the edge, which is great, but you also want to make sure you've got a border underneath your work when you are cutting your leather to size. So I'm just going to round it up and we're going to go to the 10 centimeter mark. Once you have cut your leather to size and you're happy with that, we then want to take our foil and we need to find where on our leather we need to place our foil. Now, for other leather projects, it may tell you to place the leather face down, but because we are going to be foiling, we want the foil to be on the right side of the leather and not on the underside. So we need to place the leather face up. I'm going to move that to the side for now, and we are just going to cut a little section of foil to place onto our leather. Now what we need to do is have a look at design space and have a look at our mat and compare where we need to place our foil so it's going to be in the right position to be foiled onto our bag tag. What you're going to do is find the numbers at the top of your mat and at the side of your mat and compare them to design space. So I can see in design space that the lettering starts around the 16-17 centimeter mark, which is here. And using the numbers going down, I can see that it starts at about the 2 centimeter mark roughly. So about here. So you want to just line up roughly where your lettering is and place your foiling accordingly. So once I have positioned my foiling where I want it to be, I am then going to take some of this tape that I spoke to you guys about before. This came in the foil transfer kit, and I'm just going to be using this to hold my foil in place. Okay, once your foil has been stuck down, we are ready to go. So what I am going to do now is insert my mat into my machine. And in design space, you can now go to continue. It's then going to ask you to set your base material. So we want to choose the faux leather. And then it's going to tell you which tools need to be loaded into your machine. So first up is the Foil Transfer Tool. So I'm going to go ahead now and load this into my machine. I've got the bold tip in already, which I already showed you guys. And now all you do is just load it straight into the machine, into clamp B. So once that's done, you're going to notice that the arrow button on your Cricut will start flashing. That is the load mat button. So what you're going to want to do is load your mat in under these little feeders there and press that flashing arrow. Once the Cricut's happy that you've got the right tools and that your mat has been fed into the machine, it's then going to tell you to press the start button or the go button, which is that little C, and then it's going to start foiling. So here we go. So once your foiling has finished, you do not want to remove your mat from your machine because you don't want to affect the positioning of anything. So it will actually tell you on design space, do not remove your mat. All you're going to want to do now is gently and very carefully remove your foil from your leather. And if it's worked properly, you should just be left with the word, and it should look a little something like that. So now what we want to do is follow the instructions in design space. It's going to tell you to remove your foiling tip, and we then want to insert the blade. Once you've inserted your blade into clamp B, you're then going to go ahead and press start, and it's going to start cutting. Okay, so now that we've finished cutting, I've just gone ahead and removed everything from the cutting mat, but this is what you should be left with. So you should have 4 pieces altogether. For now, all we're going to need is our bag tag, our tassel, and this long strip here. So you can just pop this other piece to the side for now. You will also need your glue gun at this point. What we are going to first do is thread this section through our bag tag, making sure the right side is facing out. You don't want that underside facing out unless that's the look you're going for, of course. And then what we're going to be doing with our glue gun is just popping a little bit of glue on this end here and joining these two ends together. So you will be left with a loop. So once your glue gun is heated up, you're going to pop a little bit of glue just on the end there. If this part is a little bit messy, don't stress, because this end is actually going to be hidden anyway. So if you've done what I've done and have just put on way too much glue, don't worry about it too much, because you won't see that end. It will be hidden on the inside of your tassel. And you'll see that now we have a loop. Now what we're going to do is take our tassel and flip it over so you've got the wrong side facing up. And then what we're going to do is pop a little bit of glue on this end here. You want to do it about 1 centimeter from the edge, because we're then going to attach the section we just glued to the inside of our tassel. Again, this section will be in the middle of your tassel, so don't stress if it's a little bit messy. Once that's dry, what we're going to do is again pop some glue on that section there that we just skipped. So like I said, we did it about 1 centimeter in from the edge, and that is because we are now going to fold that edge in over the top of that section that we've just glued down. So I'm just going to place the glue on top of the strip we just glued down. And then I'm going to fold this section in and over just like that. Once that's dry, we're going to continue rolling in this direction to basically assemble our tassel. So I would recommend just doing it section by section. You don't want to do it all at once, because if you place the glue all the way along, you're going to find by the time you get to the end, your glue is going to be dry and it won't stick. So I like to do just a couple of centimeters at a time, just to make sure it's all stuck down nicely. And this is basically how we are going to create our tassel. So just rolling nice and slowly until we get all the way to the end, gluing as you go. So now that we have made it all the way to the end, this is what you should have so far. So you can see that it is starting to look like a tassel, which is what we want. Now the final step is to finish it off and tidy it up a little bit at the top. So you should still have this section remaining. This part is going to go around the top of our tassel to just give it a little bit of a neater finish. You may find that it is a little bit too long, so feel free to give it a trim if you need to. As you can see, mine is quite a bit long. You want to leave enough that it does overlap. I want to say, you know, a good centimeter of an overlap, just so you can secure it properly. But yeah, if it is still too long, just give it a trim with some scissors, which is what I'm going to do now. With this bit being a lot smaller, I'm happy to go ahead and just glue the whole thing at the same time. But if you wanted to do it gradually like we just did, please feel free. And just applying some pressure while the glue dries so it's nice and secure. And now we can go in and separate our tassels. So if you find you've got a few little strands that haven't quite cut all the way through, just go in and pull them apart by hand. As you can see, it's really, really easy. And there we have it, guys. We are done. That is your bag tag complete.